Before watching this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and activate the little bell to see more life reflections. Undoubtedly, saying goodbye to a pet that has accompanied us for so many years can be one of the worst feelings in the world. And not only for us, but also for them. Dogs are among the most loyal animals in the world, and parting from their owners can practically break their hearts into 1,000 pieces. I hope the story of this video helps us to reflect and remember that just like us, animals also have feelings, and seeing an animal depressed is the saddest thing in the world. Ritter was a very happy dog. He is 4 years old, and during all that time he lived with a family that filled him with love and caresses. He was in the best environment in the world, but unfortunately, his family had financial problems and had to sell the house, and not only that, they also had to say goodbye to Ritter and his brother dog, with all the pain in the world. They had to turn them over to the Hamilton County Animal Humane Society in Indiana, as they didn't have the resources to continue caring for them. As soon as his family left, Ritter fell into a depression. For any animal, arriving at a shelter can be complicated by new smells, noises, and loneliness. But for a dog who had lived with a family his whole life, arriving at the shelter completely broke him. Ritter didn't understand where his family had gone overnight and was extremely scared and sad when he was put in a kennel for the first time. The first thing he did was sit by the wall staring at the floor with a look full of sadness, confused, and upset about his new life inside a cage. At the shelter, they noticed Ritter's sadness, so they did everything they could to cheer him up. When they took him out to play with the other dogs, they gave him all the attention and love they could. But it obviously wasn't the same as in his old home. Everyone at the shelter could see how heartbroken Ritter was, and they couldn't bear to see him like that. So, they decided to take a picture of him and upload it to social networks, commenting how sad that little dog felt, hoping that someone could change his life by adopting him and giving him a home to feel like before. But one day, they were left speechless when the pictures of Ritter in his cage, staring at the ground heartbroken, went viral, being shared thousands of times by people from all over the world. Thanks to the help of all those strangers, Sophie Spenya, a dog-loving woman who had long wanted to adopt a dog, saw the photo and knew she had to get him. She had long wanted to adopt a pet, but waited until she had a home of her own to give that pet all the space and comfort that all animals deserve. When she finally bought her house, she knew it was time to add a pet to her family, and it was right around that time that Ritter's picture came to her eyes. When she saw the picture on social media, she shed more than one tear. That little dog looked so sad and needy, and knowing that she could change his life motivated her to go as quickly as possible to the shelter. She was at work when she told her boss, who was a great animal lover, about the situation and allowed her to leave early to meet Ritter in person at the shelter. Definitely a boss with a big heart. When Sophie arrived at the shelter, she was a little nervous because she knew how sad and confused Ritter was after losing his family and didn't know how he would react to her. But from the first day when she met him, she knew everything was going to be okay. As she walked into the visiting area of the shelter and petted Ritter, he kept smiling. He was a dog full of love, who needed someone willing to receive all of that and give him the same love in return. After a bit of paperwork, in a few days, Ritter was officially adopted by Sophie, and he couldn't have been happier. He kept smiling and giving kisses to his new mother. On the car ride home, he looked like the happiest dog in the world. Today, Ritter couldn't be happier in his new home with Sophie. She bought him lots of toys to make him feel like in his old home, and since he arrived, the sad dog from the shelter transformed into the most loving and cheerful furball of all. The reflection that this beautiful life story leaves us with is to remind everyone that animals, just like us, also have feelings. They can get happy, sad, or angry. They are living beings just like us, and this is something that many people do not take into account. Throughout the world, many people treat animals badly, thinking that it does not affect them. They treat them as if they were objects. But the reality is that they are some of the most pure and innocent beings in the world, and the only thing they deserve is to be treated with love and respect. In addition, this story reminds us all that in the shelters there are many animals waiting for someone to come along and change their lives, as it happened to Ritter, who went from being the saddest dog of all to one full of happiness. If you ever think about buying a dog, think twice, because adopting one from a shelter can change your life as much as theirs, and it is one of the most beautiful things in the world.